Biblical biographies. Abraham and Sara. Abraham and Sara, also known as Abraham and Sarai, are central figures in the Bible, particularly in the book of Genesis. Their story marks the beginning of the Israelite people and the establishment of a covenant between God and Abraham. Here is a summary of their biblical biographies. Abraham. Abraham was born in the city of Ur in ancient Mesopotamia, present-day Iraq. He was married to Sarah and lived a nomadic life with his family. When Abraham was 75 years old, God called him to leave his homeland and journey to a new land that God would show him. In obedience to God's command, Abraham, along with his wife Sarah, his nephew Lot, and their household, set out on this journey. They eventually arrived in the land of Canaan, which God promised to give to Abraham and his descendants. God made a covenant with Abraham, promising to make him a great nation, bless him, and make his name renowned. God also promised to bless all nations through Abraham's descendants. Abraham displayed great faith and trust in God's promises. However, Abraham and Sarah faced a significant challenge. Sarah was barren and unable to bear children. In an attempt to fulfill God's promise, Sarah gave her servant, Hagar, to Abraham as a wife. Hagar conceived and gave birth to a son named Ishmael. Later, God reiterated his covenant with Abraham and declared that Sarah would bear a son of her own. Despite their old age, Sarah became pregnant and gave birth to Isaac, the long-awaited child of promise. Isaac would become an important figure in the continuation of God's covenant with Abraham's descendants. Abraham's faith and obedience were tested when God commanded him to sacrifice his son Isaac as a burnt offering. Just as Abraham was about to carry out the sacrifice, God intervened and provided a ram as a substitute. This event demonstrated Abraham's unwavering faith and trust in God. Abraham lived a long life and is considered the patriarch of the Israelite people. He is highly regarded as a model of faith and obedience. After Sarah's death, Abraham remarried and had children with his second wife, Keturah. Sarah. Sarah was Abraham's wife and a key figure in the biblical narrative. She initially bore the name Sarai, but later had her name changed to Sarah by God. Sarah's story is intertwined with Abraham's journey. She followed her husband faithfully and played a vital role in supporting him in their nomadic life. Despite her inability to conceive, Sarah remained steadfast in her trust in God's promises. When Sarah was well past her childbearing years, she laughed when she overheard God's promise that she would bear a son. However, God affirmed his promise and rebuked her for doubting. Eventually, Sarah became pregnant and gave birth to Isaac, fulfilling God's miraculous promise. Sarah's relationship with Hagar, her servant, became strained when Hagar conceived and gave birth to Ishmael. Sarah, feeling threatened, mistreated Hagar, which led to Hagar and Ishmael's departure from Abraham's household. Sarah is revered as a woman of faith and as a matriarch of the Israelite people. She passed away in Hebron and was buried in the cave of Machpelah, which became the burial site for Abraham and other biblical figures. The lives of Abraham and Sara are celebrated for their faith, obedience, and the role they played in God's plan to establish a chosen nation through their descendants. Their legacy is foundational to the development of the Israelite people and their relationship with God. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe and hit the like button so I can bring more biblical biographies. Have a great day and God bless you always.